Greetings, Stobe the Hobo audience. Stobe the Hobo here, getting ready to undertake another trip. First thing I want to show off and say thank you for is all of the gear that some people have sent recently out of the kindness of their hearts. The first thing I gotta say, right here, this hat came from a very special fan. Got my bag. This came from one generous fan in Colorado. As well as this sleeping bag. This first aid kit, I'm not sure I can fit the whole thing in the pack, but I'm gonna take some of it. That's from a fan as well. Another guy sent me some cool boots and some socks. I'm not taking the boots. They're only for cold weather, and I don't really want to stay in the cold weather on this trip. However, I'm taking the socks the guy sent. So it's winter up here. It's finally a nice day here, but I'm sick of it. I've just had it with the cold. I'm gonna go where it's warmer. I mean, look at Grey Wolf Peak. Look at the snow up on that thing. That is like Himalayan appearance. So I'm getting started on this trip at some point in the next week. And it's gonna last about a month and a half is my projection before I have to be back up here again. So maybe you're thinking, oh, there's not gonna be any new episodes or any new entertainment for that amount of time. That's actually incorrect. I've got a fair amount of material that I'm getting set up where I can release it when I feel like, you know, just from the road. It'll already be completed and uploaded, that kind of thing. A point I'd like to make here. So I'm gonna be leaving, I'm gonna be going out of state, traveling on trains, quite a few trains over the next month and a half. There's a fair amount of risk I'm taking on this trip. So I've been thinking a lot of things about the format of the show and the situation with the show. I kind of mentioned this earlier at one point that I'm not really interested in mega growth of the channel. I don't want, you know, thousands and thousands of subscribers. I don't really care. All I want is to be able to make these sustainably, to cover my costs, maybe even, you know, have something extra. That's all fine, we've already talked about that, but a recent thought has crossed my mind, which has made me a little bit more, you know, feeling devoted towards my supporters and not as concerned about just the general public anymore. I want you to go, whatever state you're in, if you're in the United States, go look and see what trespassing and what the penalty is for trespassing in your state, your county, etc. Maybe you haven't thought about this either, but a lot of these fines can be up to $1,000. And in fact, there's a few. Oregon in particular, it actually has a max fine of $6,000 for trespassing on railroad property. To sum this up really fast for you, I am risking having to pay that kind of money every single time I get on a train, anywhere in the country. It's a possibility. Now, this is no one's fault other than my own. It's no one's responsibility other than my own. We get that. That's clear. But what you've got to realize when you see these episodes is that that risk is being taken in order to create them. The last ticket I got cost me $500. So naturally, if I'm carrying the camera, this is carrying an increased risk, absolutely 100%, rather than just being on the train. If for some reason the connection is made with this camera and this channel, the wrong person, the wrong judge, could absolutely throw the book at me. So that's $1,000 fine in a lot of places, up to $6,000 in Oregon. So again, I'm asking for just $1 per episode, pledged on patreon.com with the link below. I'd like to see what I can actually get. Now, it says on there right now that it's $200 per video. That's not true. There's two phony accounts that pledged $50 each, and it says 200. I got under 100 for the last 3 videos. So it's up to more people in the audience to decide if they want to see more of this programming. The other option would be to just charge per view on YouTube, which is actually possible. And unfortunately, due to the transaction cost of this, if I go that route, I'm not going to charge $1. I'm going to probably charge $2 just to make up for the massive commission they take out of it. Pledging $1 per episode, which is inconsequential, honestly. That's an inconsequential amount. That's, what can you buy for $1? I don't even know, unless you go to Dollar Tree. Pledging $1 per episode shows me that you're willing to just get a little skin in the game, because I'm out there, again, taking some serious risks to provide these episodes. Just putting it out there, I've got 16 episodes worth of material at least, unreleased right now. And I'm waiting for the economic reason to put the time and energy in to make it happen. In addition, 5-6 episodes that are completed are awaiting release. All we got to see is sufficient demand for this to happen, and it will happen. So that's basically it. The trip is getting started. It's time to get out of here and go do this. I'm really telling you, I don't have it in me to do this much longer than this. It's time to do it now, because if it doesn't happen now, it ain't gonna happen. Let's talk about the Patreon page I've set up. I recently made some good more interesting incentives for people who want to sign up over there. It's just $1 per episode. That's all you really need to do. You get access to all episodes when they come out as a member of the Early Release Club. Honestly, there's a lot of clubs that aren't nearly as cool and that charge a lot more. But what is the Early Release Club? I should explain what that is. Basically, when I finish an episode, I post it online on YouTube in unlisted format. And then I give access to the people who support Stobe the Hobo. They're able to see it first, ad-free, for however long before it's released to everybody else. Right now, as we speak, there's material up that people in the Early Release Club are able to see, and only them. For instance, episode 7 of the Summer 16 series just got released to the Early Release Club. The important thing to point out is there's no guarantee if or when that's going to be released to the public. I'm not sure some of the things that I put on there are ever going to go to the public. So the point is, there's more than you can find on my public YouTube page, and in order to see it, you got to join the Early Release Club. The next tier is going to be $3 per episode. This will get you on kind of the email list with frequent updates about what's happening, general plans, that kind of stuff. The next tier is where things get interesting. If you pledge $5 per episode, you will now be given access to real-time updates on current trips that are happening. So if you want to actually know what's going on while it's happening, not months later when I put the episode up, join the $5 per episode group. And then you'll have a pretty good idea of all the action. Ideally, I could send something once a day. I'm not going to promise that, but it'd be pretty frequent. So for this next trip, if you want to know what's going on while it's happening, join the $5 club. Then there's the $10. If I could see that there's demand, real-time video updates from trips. This would probably just be, my cell phone recording 1 or 2 minutes, fairly frequently during the trip. Picking out the higher ones, I haven't totally figured those out. So to sum it up, $1 per episode means you're going to watch all of them as soon as they're released. $3 is going to get you onto the email list where I'm going to start sending more frequent correspondences. $5, that's going to get you everything plus real-time updates from the trip. You can know what's happening on the trip while it's happening. $10, video real-time updates. I'll do these as I can. I'm still hashing that out. And there's more if you want to go higher. I'm still figuring that out. Just to give some insight, I'm not ultimately trying to make this into my permanent job or anything like that. I'm starting to wear thin on doing this, honestly. I just want to make sure I can do the best possible job, through September with the rest of the trips I have planned. And with your guys' help, that could be a reality. But on that note, I will say, money is the difference between the amount of content there is and a lot more content. That's the difference right now. Also, let's add another point in here. If you are a writer, or if you have a YouTube channel and you produce content, get a hold of me. We can put you on the Early Release Club free of charge because you're also doing something and creating something and taking risks, so that's fine. Also, I've got a new mailing address. It'll be in the description of the video. And finally, if you want to just send something snail mail to get on anything, or PayPal, and you don't want to do Patreon, that's totally fine. The snail mail address is in the description, as well as the PayPal. You don't have to do the Patreon for this if you don't want to. Here's the point. I'm risking, in general, up to $1,000 on a ticket if I get pulled off the train on this trip. I'm just asking you to risk $1 that the entertainment that I'm providing doesn't suck. Last ticket was $500. That's not a joke amount of money. And at $100 a video on Patreon right now, that's not going to be enough to cover one ticket. That'll destroy my entire budget. And I think people may be getting annoyed just seeing these incessant pitches for money here. But let's, talk about the goal. The goal of this is to continue creating content. And the only way to do that is, by me getting like $200 or $300 per video. This concludes this video. See you guys out there. Those who I'm going to hang out with. And hopefully it's a successful trip. Stobe Hobo out.